I've always been a huge supporter of the military. Parents raised me that, hey, respect the people that are in the military. It's a very prestigious thing to do. I enlisted back in 2013 as a mechanic in the reserves right out of high school. And my perspective then was way different than the perspective I have now. Now being lieutenant, being a platoon leader, having that perspective of, okay, this is how the platoon works in the Army, or why we're doing this. Why are we doing this mission? Why are we shooting this weapon? Why are we doing this? It gave me kind of perspective of, we're building up to being the most lethal formation that we possibly can be. So if the time comes we have to engage our enemies, we are completely ready for it to close with and destroy the enemy and do it very quickly with minimal casualties, and we're able to come home safe, which is what everyone wants. As any job, if you're in the Army or not, there's parts about your job that you hate. I don't care if you say that you love your job, everything about your job. There's parts about my job I don't like. Should be frank. But what I can tell my guys is, if like crappy stuff happens, find your why. Why am I doing this? What's the purpose? Am I doing this for myself? Am I in the Army for myself? Or am I in the Army for my wife, for my kids, for my brother, sister, mom, dad? If you find your reasoning behind stuff, the bad parts about your job, the parts about your job that you hate, that you dread, whatever that may be, they become a lot easier when you put things in perspective. Then with the running team, we worked out 3 days a week together. Usually one or two easy runs, and then we did at least one hard workout. We also would do tempo runs, like 80-85%, if 100% is my race day pace, and just really simulating, okay, I'm getting my muscles used to those fast twitch muscles, get them used to pushing like further than their limits and just breaking them down so they can be built back up. About 2 weeks out of the race, I did what's called tapering. So we reduced my 55 to 75 miles a week. I reduced that down to back down to the 25 miles a week. Race came on October 7th. I was rested, but also was in shape and ready to go, so for the 10-miler. I had never been to DC before. It was my first time in that city, so it was definitely really cool. The couple days before, seeing a lot of monuments, Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, you name it. Just tried to see it all. And it was very, very surreal to see our nation's monuments and what we're so proud of to be as Americans. But the day of the race started at the Pentagon and finished at the Pentagon. So it was definitely a very cool atmosphere. Right away they had a flyover. I got to meet the Sergeant Major of the Army. I got to briefly meet the Chief of Staff as well. Someone that high in the Army. I thought it was pretty cool to meet them for the first time. What was really cool was before the first wave, which I was in, when they fired off the cannon to start the race, the Wounded Warriors started. So I thought that was really cool that a lot of our nation's veterans that gave up maybe an arm or a limb or have been debilitated in some way for our country, be very thankful that they were willing to make that sacrifice. It was very motivating for me during the race. But throughout the whole entire course, I don't think there was a span of 20-30 feet without there was someone on the side, the whole 10-mile course throughout the whole city, that wasn't cheering you on. They had posters, they were handing out water, electrolytes, Gatorade. It was kind of a really cool experience that not a lot of times with long races, even in cross country, I had to have some people cheering me on and having uplifting words the whole race through. And then continuing on all the way up to the end of the race, there was the Army band playing. I heard there was, of course, a bunch of people cheering on for the people finishing before me and after me. I knew, of course, we have 1 mile left, and I was giving everything I got. Ran a lot faster, was closing in, past a fair amount of people. But when I saw that finish line, it's that extra gear of adrenaline. It's that, oh, I am right there. I can see right where I'm finishing. It's that put it in perspective, okay, I know the finish line is there. I just got to push that extra inch, push that extra bit of effort, use all the energy I have to when I cross the finish line, I nearly collapse. So it was very exciting, and I was able to see my wife right near the finish line too, or as I was running up. So that was definitely very motivating. It was a kind of a really surreal moment crossing that finish line and realizing for me this race was a big bucket list item. Since I've joined the Army, I've wanted to do the Army 10 miler, and now they say I've done it, I want to do it for years and years to come. Well, while I'm in and when I eventually get out of the Army. My name is First Lieutenant Trey Hess. I'm an 11 Alpha, and I'm a Big Red 1 soldier.